Hi, everybody. We have come to the final major championship of the golf season. It is the British Open, also known as the Open Championship. This year it is going to be held at Royal Troon Golf Club in Scotland. It's a links course established in 1878. This is the 152nd British Open. I am going to give out a few bets that I like today. I'm going to give out 3 top 20 finishers, and then I have a slightly different bet that I'll give out at the end. A little different from other bets I've typically given out for these golf tournaments. I will go ahead and jump right in. I'm going to do a couple of half-unit bets and 1 full unit bet. I guess 3 half units, 1 full unit. So I'll start with a half-unit bet. I like Tom Hoge to finish in the top 20. Tom Hoge. He is, I believe, at most places around plus 20,000 to win the tournament outright. For a top 20 finish, I'm getting him at plus 500, and I'm going to do a half unit on this. My logic basically is that he's good at iron play, which is key on a links course. Good at approach shots and getting on the green. And I think if he'll just be able to get up and down, make some pars, he's going to stay in the mix. And I think at 5-1 odds, he's got a good shot to finish in the top 20. So that's going to be my first half-unit bet for the Open Championship. My second half-unit bet, also at plus 500, is Matthew Pavon to finish in the top 20. He has had a breakout year on the tour. He earned his first tour victory this year, and he has contended in majors. He was sort of in the mix at the US Open. He's a Frenchman, and I think maybe being back in Europe could provide him with some added confidence as he contends for the British Open. And again, I think 5-1 to finish in the top 20 feels like a pretty decent bet. So that's going to be my second half 20 bet is going to be a full unit bet on a guy I've bet on a few times before, at least a couple times before. Shai Taha. He is one of these guys that seems like he's always in the mix. He's always knocking on the door. He's at around plus 6,600 to win the tournament outright. And the best odds I'm seeing right now on him to come in the top 20 are plus 225. I think this is pretty good value. He seems to play pretty well on British courses, typically. He can have a little trouble around the greens sometimes, but I think, as I mentioned before with Hoge, links golf courses really rely on iron play, and Taha is pretty strong with that. And I think on this particular course, whatever shortcomings he might have in the short game won't be as much of a factor. It just sort of seems like it might be his time to really make a run at a major, and I think just a top 20 finish feels like a solid bet. So Shai Taha, top 20 plus 225 will round out my top 20 bets for this year. And as I said, I have one more that's a little bit different. I'm going to bet on Jason Day to be the top Australian finisher. He's had a pretty solid year. He's had 4 top 10 finishes, and he was also the runner-up at last year's Open Championship. And I just have a hunch he's going to have a good tournament. Looking at the other Australians in the field, Cam Smith, Min Woo Lee, and Adam Scott both have better odds than Jason Day, but at plus 400, I'm going to do a half unit on Jason Day to be the top finisher. Barring a surprise performance from Elvis Smiley or Jasper Stubbs, we're really looking at a 4-player race for this top Australian title. Jason Day currently has the best payout at plus 400, and for the reasons I mentioned before, I think he has a really good chance to finish strong in this tournament. So I'm going to do a half unit on this to round out my bets for the Open Championship. So we'll see how I do. It would be nice to finish the golf season strong with at least a win or two. And fingers crossed I can make that happen. Thank you to everyone who's been watching my videos and to my new subscribers. Thank you to everyone who watched my video on the presidential election. Obviously, that has changed quite a bit in the last few weeks between Biden's very poor debate performance and the assassination attempt at the Trump rally this past weekend. The mood of the election seems to have shifted quite a bit. My video, for those of you who haven't seen, is really just an overview of presidential politics in the United States, a little bit of history, a brief overview of how we decide the president in the Electoral College. I tried hard not to give away my personal political feelings and just be objective and informational, and hopefully provide some relaxing content for people to listen to. So, again, the video doesn't make any predictions about what's going to happen. It just is meant to be straightforward, and if you haven't given it a listen yet, check it out. I know a lot of my subscribers, my regular followers, think of me as a sports betting guy, and that's still what I imagine this channel will primarily be going forward, but I like to mix it up every now and then and throw in another video type for people to hopefully enjoy. So if that's not your cup of tea, no worries. You can still expect to find a lot of my classic type of content here, but I will do something different every once in a while. So, you will hear from me soon. Take care.